Now we're going to do the same today with the age pacers. We're going to go alphabetical. So 4 and up, alphabetical, not by age. That's just how it is on the system. For those of you that go on the system, you can see that, I'm sure, the same way that I can. So we'll start with Adrenaline Rush. Showed a little sickness the other night, but James drove him really, really hard. It's very un-James-like. But Scope sick after for my partners on Adrenaline Rush. He's going back to Grand River. Aside from the sickness, I don't care about that. That happens. I realize I'm a big boy. We can just turn the page on that. But to go on the track 10 or 12 to 1, when we have an available class for him to go on the track 2 to 1, that's where he should be for the exact same claiming price. So Adrenaline Rush will be in for 15 at Grand River his next start. I think that's fair. We tried him in the other class. Yes, he was second. But we want to put him in where he can win. Not be like 10 or 12 to 1 and sneak out a second and a third here and there. Put the horse in where he can do. Because if you keep racing him where he has to race to the red line every start, you're going to turn 20 starts into 8 starts really quick. And then he's going to start to deteriorate. So I want Adrenaline Rush at Grand River's next start. I know there may be some objections to that, but that is where he's going to race. Good as him. Races in, well, you guys are watching this Monday. He raced yesterday. He's racing for me in 2 hours. Super excited to see Good as him race. Going to need a start, I'm sure of that. But, man, can't wait to watch him go. Aglariam is going to school again or qualify. I guess she could qualify on Tuesday. Want to get her back going. A little crampy. Not what she's usually used to. Now she switched farms and okay, I'll give her a benefit of the doubt. Her AST was like 1,600 where I've seen it at 35,000. So, not a big deal for her. She'll be fine to go on Tuesday. LD's Patrick. I trained a mile and a half in the jog cart last mile in 2:12 the other day, but I'm in no rush with this guy. As I said to Jason, this guy represents some of our better aged horse trotters for the fall, late fall into the winter. I don't care if he's ready for another month. I just want him ready to rock when he's supposed to be. So he trained good the other day. I'll train him again when I'm over here this week. Locatelli is in to go this week again. I just think that you guys are going to see this. Many of our clients have been with us for a while, and I enjoy the fact that we retain a lot of clients, and people like to hang out with us and listen to my babbling all the time, but you also get to see things take place, and you're going to see a heavier, stronger horse like Locatelli, how long it takes for them to become that horse, right? The good, strong, talented, fast horse. You see it now in Kings County. He just broke his lifetime mark. His track record broken yesterday that he had set 3 or 4 weeks ago at Sailor Downs at 151 and 4 as a 6-year-old. It takes time to put that muscle and work into horses. And Locatelli is 4, turning 5. His best work is ahead of him, but I do want to see him put a better effort in. You know, I wish I had seen him out of the 4-hole in the big race last week. Not the 10-hole, but it ended up being the 9-hole. But that's just the way racing is. He's in to go this week, and he's in tough. I want him to be in tough for a little bit. I want him to really, to put that muscle, that speed, that talent, to put that, incorporate that into a horse full time. It takes a while to get there, right? As I say all the time, when you look at the other sports, very rarely do you see a 20-year-old boy or female get to that top level as a 20-year-old, right? You might see, now I'm in Toronto, so I'll use Vladimir Guerrero as an excuse, as a point. Go back and look at it when he was 20. He's a bigger, flabbier kid, and although he's a ton of talent, you see a totally different young man now, right? As he's had 2-3 years at that top level. It takes time to put that in. You get the foundation, you get the talent, the ability, the work ethic. You have speed, but to get to that level, that next level, it takes time in that level to put it on. And I don't know if I'm explaining it the best, but it doesn't happen overnight. I think we're going to see, for us, my partners, you guys out there on Locatelli, we're going to watch him race as a 4-year-old into his 5-year-old season. I think you're going to see a transformation again from this horse when he's 5. When we look back and see the horse he is at 5, hopefully somebody can go back and look at this video or videos like it where I'm talking to you about Locatelli as a 4-year-old. He's almost there. He's getting there, but it's inch by inch. You're not going to see those dramatic changes like you see when they're 2 and 3. You won't see that with a 4-year-old into a 5-year-old. You're going to take it just inch by inch by inch by inch. And I think that's what we're going to see from Locatelli and coming from Locatelli. So I just want to see him continue to get better. My Jazz trained for her first time since being a broodmare. She actually was, because she wasn't full and then absorbed the foal. So My Jazz, I would say her and Compass Rose can be ready in a month. What's the date today? I think they will. I'll think they'll be ready for October, which I wouldn't have guessed. But they both come back looking in good shape, very, very healthy. But they weren't flabby and fat. No, they looked like they were, you know, they're working out. So very happy with the way they looked the other day training. Also, no free lunch, schooled great the other day. I think he may have to qualify. I'm not sure. If I know Harry, he might have made it that way also. You're going to see him qualify a race this week. James said he was very good. Now his blood says otherwise. His blood says his differential slipped. He's still not 100%, but James said he was very, very good training or schooling the other day. Walk on the Moon was good the other day. I know Brett come up to me and he goes, that Moon horse. I said, the Moon horse, yes, he's fast. Yes, he's a nice horse. Yes, he's flashy. Very talented colt, a very talented horse. The rest you're going to fill in on your own. I don't want to tip the boat here. He goes, he raced really good. I said, I know. I thought he raced very well. He said, just keep it going. And I left it at that. Where are we at now? Compass Rose DC also getting close to, I think she'll be ready in a month. Both her and My Jazz. I think they'll both be ready. These were horses that we had turned out. Oddly, My Jazz spent most of her 3-year-old season lame. And then got sounder. And I think she won 6 of her last 7 starts, if I'm not mistaken. Some of her best racing to date in her life, outside of a couple of starts when she was 2, were done last year. I thought she looked great. She'll be back, but both those horses were turned out sound. They both went out sound and came back in sound and looked great. Globe Trotting in Tuesday. I warned Woodbine. I'm just going to start having a look and see what's available at other jurisdictions. You want to keep racing our horses against one another, fine. White Tiger doesn't race against Globetrotting. Not right now, he doesn't. And if that's going to happen, then I'm just going to move White Tiger or Globetrotting. Likely Globetrotting. And the same goes for the other race. They put Yes in with Red Overbach. You know, I guess that was a pop-up series. But, you know, when it comes to our horses, I'm not racing the fall against my horses. It's not going to happen. So if they keep putting them in together, they're just going to lose horses out of this jurisdiction. And that's the way it is going to be. No questions asked. Home the Tone. I appreciate everybody's patience with this horse. But this is a horse also. We had bought him for, quite frankly, what I thought was a reduced rate. I want to pour some weight onto that horse, pour some time into him, and have him come back the best form of that horse he can be. He was a little run down. You know, he's been racing for a while. It's nobody's fault, just the way it is. He's a racehorse that's been racing for a while. Just want to give the horse some time to just cool out, get his wits about him, and bring him back. Here was a very erratic horse that I want very consistent when he comes back. And to do that, I want him firing, as I said before, firing on all cylinders. Where are we at now? Sailor is in to go Tuesday. He looks good now. That foot was a mess, but they got it cleaned up. He's in a good spot on Tuesday. He had a good qualifier and a good schooler. He should be fine and ready to go for Tuesday at Mohawk. Stay close. Got to bring this guy back in. I said this last week. I got to get him in. I said lots of time to fill out. Anyway, I'll have them pick him up, and he's going to go to Shedder 12 at Tomiko for now. That's where we'll put him. Kings County, just tremendous. Absolutely tremendous yesterday. Those are 2 of the best horses in North America that he raced against, and I was just really, really impressed with the way he raced. I know somebody said I didn't have him in a great spot. He was in a perfect spot. He followed the horse that was second and ended up beating 3 lengths. So he's the type of horse where I think on the front he fights a little more. In that last turn, it seems like if he's too wide in the last turn, I guess except for Park the whole way, he kind of hesitates a bit. Is he touching himself? Is he just holding back a little bit to the head of the lane? Smart horse. So who knows? But either way, the horse pays to try to 52 and a piece and added to an impressive bankroll this year. Clearly, well, right now, the best horse in Ohio. I think that's safe to say, isn't it? I think he is. Anyway, so very impressed with what I saw from Kings County. White Tiger, one of the best miles he's trotted in a long time. James said he's starting to stay quiet now. He said he was quiet at the gate. I was very worried. I thought he was no good. He didn't gap or get out of gear in the last turn. It takes time. Again, you know, here's a horse that is an older horse, but still, again, clearly improving. And you know, maybe we were right. We talked about all the changes we could make after George announced. I said, hey, maybe it was just the track. Maybe it was just the surface he didn't like. It wasn't the only horse who made a break that night. We made no changes to him. brought him right back out and raced him. The horse was fan. Well, he did make one change. I didn't drive him. We come right back out and race great his next start. Yes, he's been in a funk, but these 10 holes don't help. 2 10 holes in a row, locked in last week. You know, he's just not. He's not in a place where he's doing great. And you know, I kind of got to think. I don't want to send him back to Northfield. I know he can run his way up to the top class, but still in the same spot. Is there anywhere else? Dover. Is there any places we could send them? I know a lot of our clients are out there looking through the classes, and I know that I'd run into Jimmy King and Timmy and talked about having horses in Dover for the winter, and you know, quite frankly, good money, good track. It's a possibility. I guess we could have yes in Dover. Plain Ridge is closed. We have horses in Southern Ohio. You know, we will need a horse at Northfield, but I don't know if Yes is that horse. Possible. You know, he's been good there. He has a track record still there for 3-year-old geldings, so it won't be Mohawk. I'm almost certain of that for the rest of the year. Patrick DePrana was great in the prep race. You know, you guys don't understand. He drove him easy and he finished up strong, but this horse stood in the field, just played in the field for a week after the Gold Cup before he went back to Mark and Melissa Beckwith. The horse just looked impressive the other day, and I'm sure he'll be very good today. You know, truthfully, the last 2 horses on this list are 2 of the most impressive horses all week. Per Lucky, for what, an 8-year-old? 7-year-old, 8-year-old, something like that. Took a mark of 52-3 last night at Hoosier Park. The horse has come to life. You know, it's the same old thing. You know, I remember I went out there and everybody explains the same thing about Jim. Good old horseman, good old horseman, good old horseman. You know, people say that and they don't think they realize that guys like Jim Eaton, Harry Polton, guys that have been around forever, they don't forget how to be horse people. They don't forget how to be, you know, how to care for a horse, how to have a horse good. And when it comes to Per Lucky, I was surprised the horse went in 52-3, but not really. I mean, I haven't spent a ton of time with Mr. Eaton, but I spent enough time with him. No, he knows what he's doing, and he's a pretty sharp old guy, and you know, very happy. Again, I said this in another video, but very, very happy to be in business with these guys. Harry Polton and, you know, even Mario, Jason. Everybody brings a little something different. Dominic. Everybody brings a little something different to the table, but what they also bring is that puzzle piece, right? And I think what you see in 2022 and 2023, what you're going to see in 2023 is one of the strongest stables in North America. You know, we're not Ron Burke, we're not any of those guys, but we don't say we will be. We don't say we are. We just quietly are. So, just super impressed with what I've seen. Per Lucky last night, really, to me, just looked like an extension of what we've been trying to do all year. You know, we've been so fortunate with the horses we purchased, and Per Lucky is definitely one of those. He was awesome last night. So congratulations to everybody that owns him and Jimmy. Just a great night. And then, you know, cap this list off with Sintra. I think James probably wishes, if he had 3 wishes after that race, you know, one of them would have definitely been to follow the winner instead of staying on the inside. You know, obviously everybody in planet Earth with a set of eyes or ears knew what took place. You know, he made a decision in a split second. That was the wrong thing. But it happens, you know. You can't always, even James McDonald, the year he's having and how good a driver he is, can't make all the right decisions all the time. And he made the wrong one last night. He follows that horse. He's in the winner's circle in 49. You know it. I know it. But you know what? I know what James is going to say. Well, he'll be that much better next week. I hate that saying, and if he did say it to me, I'd want to punch him in the head. But he's right in the sense that'll go a long way for the psyche of, those are the best horses in Ontario, aside from like Jimmy Freight, the top horses. That was a $52,000 open pace, and we would have won it. Not the end of the world. He'll be back next week, and he'll probably, maybe he will be a little bit better for it. I don't like wasting starts. He's 9. It's not like he's going to peak at 10 or 11. Anytime you can put a horse like him in a position to be in the winner's circle, you should. And I can guarantee you, James wishes he had it back. That's just the way it is. You know, it's not the end of the world. For the amount of good that James does, I'm certainly not going to sit here and get angry. There was a time I would, but I never said a word. I leave it alone. Overall, just super happy with the way the horse has been racing. Obviously, I've only sat behind the horse once in my life, and he's etched himself a place in my heart forever. So, just happy to see him racing well. So great job by Harry and Nellie and her mom with Citra. Just, he's been incredible. So that's your aged horse list. You can see it growing, and I guess it's worth noting that I will be bidding on a few horses tomorrow at the preferred sale also. I guess I'll talk about that in another video rather than just link it on to the end of this. But there are some horses in the preferred sale I'm interested in. Not really anything on Gate right now that catches my eye, but there usually is. And the thing about Gate is every day new horses get loaded on there. One weekend ends. As soon as you start getting closer to the yearling sales, everybody's looking to claw back some yearling capital, and they'll move some horses. And what you'll end up with is very, very talented horses sometimes getting moved, and that's what we're looking for right now. Horses that are going to do us some real good. I haven't seen any on Gate today. It was on earlier, but the preferred sale, there's a couple on there. One pacer in particular. I know. One pacer in particular that interests me though. So we'll talk about that more. So aged horse list is done. We're back with all the stables.